hopping on this live. I'm about to get. What's up, Devin? What's up, man? About to get my guy Gil on here. We about to talk to y'all a little bit. Devin, what's up? Lunchbox, what's good, bro? How we doing, man? You wrestling in college right now? What's up? Wait for my man Gil to get on here, man. That's what's up, bro. Yeah, you gonna have to hit me. I know it's been a minute for real. I gotta go visit Will and all them too. Hey, what's up, Reggie? Uncle Jimbo. Betsy, congrats on your engagement. Appreciate you hopping on. Dimitri, what's up, bro? It's been a while. JD, same with you. Sixers and 8. Come on, man. Not if Embiid don't come back healthy. It's gonna be Sixers and 0, man. We about to be one and done. Yeah, no problem, Bessie. Good, good. All right, I'm gonna see what's up with Gil. I don't know who this is. Oh, my bad. This shit taking a minute. I think he's like waiting to get the invite. I might have to do it again. Gil. Ever have sciatica? No, I have not. It's a pretty random question, man. You dealing with that? It must be something you're dealing with if you asking me. Shit, I've never had sciatica. The hell, man. Mariana, what's up? You're watching me. Don't do that. Just wait for my guy to hop on. I don't even know if he got the invite. Hurt, what's good, bro? You on vacation? You still fucking around? What's up? See it on your phone. Come on, man. Killing me. Hold up. Oh my god. I don't know. Tim, what's up? Get hurt? I think he about to hop on now. About to get to it. Yo, when I repost this recording, I hope I can cut this beginning out. I just sat on here holding my nuts for like 5 minutes, saying a bunch of nothing. Hey, there we go. What's up, Gil? Get on here, man. I think you could join. Oh, there we go. Nasir, what's up, bro? Shit.
See me now?
What's up, Gil? You got
I'm
it working?
sorry about the delay there.
Nah, you good. My bad. I got you on your phone. I don't know how to do it on the laptop, man. I'm not real savvy with all this, but what's up?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. We're just getting into it. If y'all watching this live, damn, it's a lot of y'all. I think that's your people hopping on. That's what's up. But yeah, man, I'm here to talk to Gil about how he was able to scale his business to $1 million of revenue while losing 60 pounds this year. So I feel like, I post a lot of content on here, and so does Gil. I feel like it'd be great for us to kind of talk to both each other's audiences and let you know what he's been up to this year. I want him to tell his story. And y'all see my fitness content all day, but there's nothing like hearing somebody else actually tell their own story and what they've gone through. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, man, for those who don't know you, whether it be your audience or people watching on my end. Who are you? What do you do? Like, what's your story with all this? And tell us about what you do for work.
Yeah, definitely, man. And thanks for having me on. My name is Gil. What I do for work is an entrepreneur. I own a credit repair business, and actually, I've been working on the last 8 months or so to scale the business. But that's what I do full time. It's credit repair, and I connected with Dallas, I would say July of last year, because I was at the point where I was really taking off with my branding and my company, and I felt, I really need to, to help me. Well, two things. One, I wanted to personally help myself get back to, a more healthier place for myself, but also for purposes of building my brand. I felt I needed to also, be an example of what I'm trying to build in terms of helping people. And I felt like I wasn't doing myself the biggest help for myself to get me to a place where I know I should be personally. So I wanted to, I've known Dallas. I've seen Dallas for a few years prior to last July. And I felt the timing was just right. I was at the point in my business where I was getting, I was having a little bit more time to myself.
Yeah.
Things, I was trying to systemize it, bring in the help I needed. And then now it was time to really focus on me.
No, that all makes sense. And tell them a little bit about your credit repair business, because I know for a fact there's people watching and they may need help with their credit. I have friends personally who reached out to me like, yo, who do you know that does credit repair? I'm like, man, let me set you up with Gil. Tell them what you do, man.
Yeah. I mean, so we do, and for credit repair, I mean, not a lot of people know you can actually, essentially fix everything on your credit report, anything from late payments, charge-offs, collection accounts, repossessions, even bankruptcies. We're able to actually dispute and remove off the credit report. So you can actually repair anything off your credit. And like the best part about it though, I'm not saying like, not to pay your bills, but a lot of people that come to us for help, they have like accounts that are, they're very delinquent or have a high balance that they owe on, but they need to fix their credit because they're trying to buy a home, get a car, but they can't pay, thousands of dollars that they don't have right away. But you can actually remove accounts you still owe money on, fix your credit, go get the house, go get the car, and then that gives you the flexibility to go back and then, work on, paying the debts, doing some kind of settlement. But it gives you that flexibility. You don't have to, have that bad credit for years until you pay off the debt. You can actually fix it first and then go back and work out the payments.
Right. So if you have a huge debt or you owe a lot of money or you're behind on your bills, late payments, whatever the case, and you're trying to buy a house and you need to show that report that high credit score, you guys can pretty much fast track that in the short term so that people can do what they got to do. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. You can definitely get those negative accounts off the report in the meantime, and then you can fix your credit, get the house, get the car, or just get, funding. If you're trying to just get, leverage your credit for more additional funding that you have a good plan for, you can do that without having to, pay off all the debt first.
Yeah, and you're a great example of that too, man, because I've seen, just talking to you the past year, obviously we talk every week on our check-in calls. You've told me how you've been able to leverage your personal credit to be able to do things. So I think that's cool that you're helping people with that. Gil, what's the best way while you're here? I want to start out with this because if I put it at the end, people may not stay to see that. What's the best way for someone to get in contact with you if anybody's watching this and needs help repairing their credit score? What's the best way to work with you on that?
Yeah, I mean, the best way is honestly, I have a link in my bio. If you want to set up a free consultation, you can click on it, goes to my calendar, you set up a time of day that works best for you. And then, I don't do all the consultations honestly anymore because it's just a lot of inquiries I get every day. But one of my team members here in the office with me will definitely, get on you on that call and go through the whole consultation with you for free.
Okay. Yeah. So y'all heard what he said. I'm not gonna repeat that, but yeah, that's crazy. Even just you saying that, right? Like, I'm not the one who does all the onboarding calls anymore in the consults, but like less than a year ago, it was you. So I guess we're gonna get into that today. But I guess where were you at when you started with your fitness, man? I think we've been working together since like July, August, something like that. Like sometime in the summer, I remember you reached out.
In July of last year.
Yeah.
So honestly, I was like, I think when I started measuring myself, I was at 280. But I'm pretty sure I was a little bit higher than that. But that's when I started actually measuring it because I wouldn't even actually ever go on a scale really every day, like I am now. But I would say, in the 280 range.
Okay. See, it's 280 when you started. Where were you at just
Yeah.
in general with your fitness in terms of like how you were feeling and all that?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I remember like having like always having some problems with my knees. Since I was carrying a lot more weight than I should be. It was hard sometimes on my knees. I felt like a little bit like pressure on my knees. I wouldn't. Obviously not looking the best is part of that too. But I was definitely feeling like very sore. So I play like soccer every Sunday.
Hmm.
And I still do today, and I've done it for many years. But I would always feel very, very sore like the next day, for like 2, 3 days sometimes in a row. Just by playing soccer on Sundays and not having any kind of routine I would have now. I would always feel sore like for 2, 3 days, and it'll be hard to recover from it. I
Yeah.
remember back then.
Yeah, so I remember that was a big part of it too, right? Like, not only you being at a place where you're like, okay, in order to scale my business to where I want it to, I have to become more. And the way I'm gonna become more is like by pouring into myself. I need more mental clarity. I need more energy. It's just kind of like the right time for you in that regard. But I do remember another part of it because you did play soccer before, and I know you still play on Sundays now. I know a big part of that too was like I think the soccer was your form of activity, and that's only once a week. But it's like I want to prepare myself to be able to play, to do your hobbies and play soccer once a week without, getting winded or like, knee pain, like you said, back pain, anything like that. So, would you say that's all pretty accurate? Just like
Yeah,
wanting to.
100%.
Okay. Okay. So, what was it that made you, or actually, before I get into that, what was your lifestyle like, man? Because obviously, you got kids, you got a fiance, you got the business. Like, what's your
Yeah.
lifestyle like in terms of fitting all this in? Because obviously, there's a
Uh,
reason that we haven't been able to make the time up to this point, right? Like, talk to them about that because I'm sure that'll be very relatable to anyone out there watching.
Yeah, I mean, I was, I'm a, pretty much a one-man show before, working Monday through Sunday in my business, early in the morning, late at night. I would never have like an end date to work essentially. So I was working at home, working obviously during the day. I love what I do and I still do, but it's kind of hard to have that, that sense of like, passion that you're supposed to have for something you really, really enjoy doing when you're kind of bogged down by like the work every day and not having like any time to do anything else. So I was just working tirelessly every single day, even into the weekend, and not having time to really do anything else.
So just grinding, building your business. That was like,
Yep.
what, probably like 60, 70, 80 hours a week? And then
Yeah.
time
It,
for
it was.
family. Hmm.
It was honestly. It was like I said, weekends too, like Saturdays and Sundays. Like I would take time off just because I would get like just tired. Like I would just and like get to the point of like complete exhaustion. Like I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to get some sleep because I
Yeah.
would not even get much sleep at all during that time.
Yeah, you just like hit a wall at some point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I know family is like one of your core values too. So it's like, when you're not working, I'm sure you're spending time with the family, I imagine, right?
Yeah, 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 for sure. Like now it's like, fortunately I was able to like get my business to where it is today. And now weekends completely off of, no work in the weekends.
Yeah.
And I get off at a good time, like, during the week too. But yeah, back then, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Like your schedule was controlling you instead of you controlling your schedule like it is now,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, with all that said, you're somebody who worked 70, 80 hours a week, time with the family was the probably the only thing you were able to do outside of work. With somebody being that busy like yourself, like what was it that made you decide to go down this path? Like, all right, man, I'm gonna lose the weight, I'm gonna get in better shape, reach my second prime, as I would say.
Yep.
What was it that made you decide to go down this path, man?
So yeah, obviously the one is health. No, that was for sure like the driving force behind it. And then obviously right there, hand in hand was I wanted to share my story. I feel like I've always wanted to share my story in life, like what I've done. I pretty much came from like a few years back. Well, not a few years back. I don't know, 2013, 2015. So a little bit over like a decade now. But it seems like just yesterday, where I
Yeah.
was like living in a one-bedroom apartment. I only had a mattress on the floor for many years. I had my oldest at the time who was like 2 or 3, and I couldn't buy her like a toy for like a year or two because it was so like down in like in the dumps back then. But yeah, I just wanted like I feel like I have like a lot of people relate to me. That's why I think a lot of people work with me now in credit repair. And I just want to share my story. I feel like I have a story to share. Outside of just branding myself just for business purposes, and I would love to like inspire people and show like you can do like things. You can do everything in life. There's a way to figure everything out. if you truly want to do it, like there's a way of doing it. So I think part of it was that drive that I want to, share a story, not just for my kids, but just people that, that need inspiration. I talk to a lot of people every day that, are current clients as well that, are trying to do something in life or struggling with certain aspects of life. And everything kind of ties into each other ultimately, I feel. The health, the business, everything, it comes down to the mindset. And so it was that, I was kind of limiting myself in that regard with, my health at the time because I felt like I had to focus 100% on the business and I was neglecting that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to not have that on the back of my mind anymore. I wanted to, not think about that anymore and I wanted to address it.
Right. Right. It's like, all right, we got the business going, we got some momentum there. It's always that monkey on your back though, like, but the health though, like, but it's like,
Yeah.
even if you're not where you want to be tomorrow or the next week, or it takes months, it takes years, whatever, at least you know that on a daily basis you are taking strides in the right direction without sacrificing the business. In fact, if anything, I feel like I would argue it's giving you more synergy. So,
Mhm.
well, how would you say your life's different now, man? Like in terms of physical results, mental, emotional wins there. What you've learned on the journey, like how it's helped you in the business. Like, what can you say to that now that you're actually
Yeah.
on the other side of it?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I mean, like just energy, like for sure, like 360, confidence, like even more so. I mean, I started doing content about 2 years ago, but as you like watch my content from when I started to where I am today, is like drastic changes in my appearance. But like personally, like again, like I know we always talk about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it feels good, like to be where I felt like I always need to be.
Mhm.
And I'm not even done yet. Like I still have a ways to go, but definitely a lot. I'm more than halfway to where towards my goal, and just it's happiness. Certain a sense of happiness you get from like personal health and personal goals that you're trying to work towards in life, and it just feels good to be here today because I'm addressing that now.
Yeah. Like whereas I guess it was kind of like always in the back of your mind, and you almost create this belief system that you have to sacrifice the health to scale a business. Because we're both in the sales space, we're both in the entrepreneur space. I know you see all the masterminds and like all the posts on social media from all these gurus, and it's always like, you gotta grind 24/7. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
there's a time in your life, there's a season where you gotta do shit like that, but I
yeah,
feel like they paint it where like that's what it always is, and then you're always sacrificing something. Your relationship is shit. Your health goes to shit. Whatever the case is, but it seems like you've been able to kind of find synergy between all three and
yeah.
live within your values. Yeah.
Fortunately, man, like fortunately, and God willing, and honestly, like I have to give. I know you always credit me, but I have to give you your credit too. Like it takes the right person to build that synergy with that can hold you accountable. And then just like in our last call, you're holding me accountable for some of the things I need to maintain in my journey.
No bullshit,
And that
man.
really makes the difference.
Yeah.
That 100% makes the difference. And working with the right person, like ultimately. I know I say that a lot, but I truly mean that. Like Dallas has been like, yeah, you've been amazing. So I got to give you your credits for sure where they're due. And anything else, like I've had other mentors and other aspects of business that didn't pan out right. And I wish I would have had like that certain type of guidance that requires to get to a certain goal that you're trying to go towards. But when you do have the right person, like in this case, working with you, it's made like the world difference. Because I know not many other people would have been able to do the same thing that I would accomplish that I'm doing with you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, bro. Likewise, man. Like, there's very specific things that I guess traits that I look for when I work with people too. Like, it doesn't matter how good I am or what I do. If somebody's not ready to put in the work and ready to be coachable and like ready to learn and think a little bit differently, like it's not gonna work, right? So I would say on both ends, it's like, it's a good fit, and that's why we're 60 pounds down in less than a year, which is great progress. So appreciate the
Yeah.
kind work there. Um, Hey, what are some other big wins that you've had, man? I feel like there's so much. It's probably it's like I'm almost putting you on the spot, but I feel like there's so much besides like the 60 pounds, man. Because we talk every week.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the big ones. No, I mean, obviously, like I think like the biggest thing has just been like how surprised it's not easy, but how like simple the process is. Like what it really takes to get to a healthier like weight. And things like that. It's not really like I used to think I have to work like go 100 miles an hour every day and work out and maintain that to see progress. But like honestly, like the process is like almost the opposite of that. It's like almost like the consistent, but like small steps every day, but consistent steps.
Mhm.
Um, can get you to your goal. I mean, like it's just crazy to save 60 pounds and like a little bit over half a year, honestly. You know, and I think by our actual year mark, I'll probably be close to like, 80, 90
Yeah, I
pounds.
would say
Um,
that's pretty accurate. Yeah, because
yeah.
yeah, and I love what you said there because that's almost like what the compound effect is, right? Like small, seemingly insignificant actions that determine your trajectory, and you compound those things day in and day out. You either go in the right direction or the wrong. And most people, if you're not doing anything, if you're not getting better, you're probably getting worse. Like if you're not, tracking your food, doing the workouts, you're probably doing things that are working against you, and
Mm.
then you take those two people, put them together a year from now, like they're in completely different directions, and the habits don't seem that big. So, um, what would you say are the things that we did on a day to day basis that got you 60 pounds down, man? Because I feel like just making it more tangible for anybody watching would be helpful. Like you said, it's small steps. It wasn't shit. I didn't have you in the gym 3 hours a day. Um, you weren't doing 2 days, killing
Mm.
yourself with cardio,
Yeah.
cutting your carbs, nothing like that. What are some things that you did on a daily basis that contributed to your success here?
Yeah, so with that consistency, the tracking, making sure you understand what you're eating, because like it was crazy, like how you realize like what's in certain foods that you eat every day, and you don't understand like what you're eating. To really understanding like different foods, like what kind of calories they have, in terms of like grams of protein and carbs, like where do you get all the right mix with all the foods that you normally eat, or if you have to change things out. But simple things like that. And what's funny is like I actually like not saying that not follow up the plan, but like sometimes you're able to eat the things you enjoy eating. Like, you would be surprised. You can still eat, the nice desserts. You can eat, a nice steak dinner. You can eat the things you enjoy. You just gotta, moderate it.
Mhm.
You gotta fit it into your plan. But I think like it's been nice to know that, I don't have to restrict myself just with the salads and chicken, which I thought I had to do, many years before that. Or I'm like, if I'm gonna go on a great like run and get really healthy, I'm gonna have to go salads and chicken like every day, or
Right,
rice.
right.
But that's not the case. You can eat like a mixture of almost anything. You just got to understand what's in that food so you can, incorporate it right.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna ask you what you learned next
Yeah.
because you kind of touched on that too. So on a day-to-day basis, right? Tracking your food was one thing, right? Um, what I'm getting from that in terms of what you learned was like food literacy, in terms of like reading food
You're
labels,
right.
understanding what goes into. Oh, these foods have carbs. These foods have protein. Learning how to read food labels, understanding and building that awareness of how much food you're putting in your body that
Yeah.
to lose weight, not starving yourself, but also not overeating, finding that sweet spot where we can lose weight, right?
Yep.
And then secondly, I get that you're learning from flexibility, right? Like, yeah, we didn't have a meal plan, bro. I don't have you on some bodybuilder shit, eating chicken and broccoli 6 meals a day. Like, we're not doing nothing like that.
Right.
It sounds like you have like a set thing you probably eat. You have your few meals. You kind of rotate in and out. And I know Christina cooks, and you kind of like make that work, and you understand the principles of how to make that work. But again, you understand the principles, so it's not just I'm married to these specific foods. It's like, oh, I have the flexibility to be able to. Yo, you drink sometimes, man. Like,
Mhm.
like you go out on the weekends and eat different food. Like I see what you eat,
Yeah.
man, but we still been able to make that work. So definitely wanted to like point that out and elaborate on that. Aside from that, what are some other? I guess do you have any like not limiting beliefs? That's not the right word, but like beliefs that you came in with, like oh, it has to be this way. Like for example, yo, I gotta starve myself or eat chicken and salads. Do you have any beliefs like that we were able to break, or maybe you're thinking a little bit differently about after going through this process?
Definitely like the workouts. Like, I thought like the working out, you had to like maintain a certain level of like commitment to working out, which you do, but like it's almost like it's almost contradictory again to like what you believe. Like you don't have to be, breaking records every week to get to the end goal. You know what I mean? You just have to be consistent, and you gradually increase in the intensity of certain workouts, but it's gradual, so it's not like, a drastic change from the previous week,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still like making big headway, like, 2 weeks, a month into like every single like term that you're in the program, you're seeing like the same amounts of progress, like significant progress. But it really is like gradual in terms of like how much you have to put into it to maintain that level of like progress. So it's crazy like how like almost simple it is. It's not as challenging as I thought it was. So I mean
Yeah.
that in itself, I think most people struggle with that.
Yeah, that's what's funny too, cause like I remember you saying that. I forgot how far along we were in, but we were on one of our checking calls, and you were like, "Fuck, man! Like I didn't realize it was this simple. I thought I had to do X, Y,
Mhm.
Z." Almost like you were putting it off because you thought that it would be
Yes.
a bigger sacrifice on your
Yes.
schedule, on your effort, and you had to put in so much work and time to see such a big return on your fitness.
Yes.
And it's funny because you would say that like, damn, yo, I didn't realize it was this simple. And you
Yeah.
almost like beating yourself up for not starting sooner because
Yeah.
you're like, damn, if I had known that's all I had to do, I would have been doing this shit. Like,
Mhm.
but it's like, yo, you get conditioned to think like, oh, I got to be doing 2-a-days and doing all this cardio and like starving myself. It's like, man, I'm kind of in a busy season with work right now. I'm not really trying to focus on that. So I'm glad we were able to kind of make that work. But aside from that, yeah, I have you working out 3 times a week, less than an hour at
Yeah.
home.
hmm
Because I made a reel about you before. Like I've used you as an example. I think I have you hitting a step count. You try to hit around 8 to 10,000 a day. You know, drinking a gallon of water and tracking your food. We're not super anal about the food tracking either. It's just that awareness of like how much you're eating.
Right.
You know, focus on the type of protein goal. Now we're focusing on fruits and vegetables. Like we level up as we get better and more consistent with this stuff. But man, it's really not that complicated, guys. It's simple, but it's not always easy. So one thing I wanted to touch on too is like, all right, I get that you got some physical results and you know you have more energy and all this stuff, but how is this kind of tied into your business? Because I know that was a big pain point for you even getting started, just work being so busy as it is. But how would you say that losing the 60 pounds and going on this process has helped you with that?
Yeah, I think it builds a lot of credibility. It's like opposite what I do because I'm in the credit repair industry, but it builds credibility because, if they see, the leadership starts from the top. And if you're a person that's, values yourself to, improve always, and you're not, always, content where you are with, any aspect of your life, like if you're always progressing, pushing forward, I think people see that and you're presenting a service to someone and they see like you're that, involved with yourself, that you're always progressing, you're always, setting goals. They'll feel a lot more, comfortable working with you because they see the level of commitment you have. And it carries over, like how you do something is how you do everything almost, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like a person who's always like pushing hard, figuring it out, persevering, you're gonna pretty much carry that over to whatever else you're doing. And this, Kate, my business for credit repair, that's how I am. I push forward with my clients. It's not easy. It's not easy service by any means. But I don't let anything like deter me, and I go and figure things out. And we're always pushing forward and doing the best we can to always get the results for our clients.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm getting, and I like that answer too because it's not the typical like, oh, I have more mental clarity, more energy. That's how I was able to push hard on my business, right? You gave me three things I got three things from that. Is what I'm saying. So number one is like living aligned with your values. You've always said that fitness and your health is something that you value, but you weren't always making the time for that. So deep down, you may feel a little weird about that. Like when you value something, but you're not like doing that shit on a daily
Right.
basis. You just feel like slimy. You don't feel like you're living in integrity. So now that you're doing it, whether you're where you want to be or not, even just through that first week, you're doing the workouts, tracking food, doing what you're supposed to. You're living aligned with your values, and that feels good. So now you show up with more confidence. Secondly, doing hard things on a daily basis. If you're pushing through a workout when you're tired and you're doing things that you probably don't feel like doing, yeah, it's inconvenient to scan the barcode of the thing you just ate. It's not that hard, but it's inconvenient. You're doing hard stuff like that on a daily basis. You're going to be locked in more with work. You're going to push for that extra hour at work kind of thing. And then third thing is just like looking the part, man. Like, dude, we always joke about how you can't, anybody who watches this and creates content or sees other content creators, that sometimes you got to be consistent on this platform to grow, right?
Yeah.
And some days you don't have shit to say. You didn't have time to make a post. So you'll recycle the old post because people in your audience didn't see it. You may get new followers every day, or maybe the people who were in your audience didn't see it. So you got to recycle an old post and kind of repost it. I always joke with Gil. I can always tell when he does that because his face looks different, right? So people have kind of seen that journey, and I guess more in line with that is like you said, looking disciplined, looking the part. When you see somebody who clearly takes care of themselves, I think it does show that discipline, especially when people can see the journey. Like I said, you look at your old videos or your old headshots, bro. It's like a night and day difference for you. So man,
Yeah.
I know people who follow you and your audience have kind of seen that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you document more of that. I know you're busy with work and all that, but telling that side of the story, I think would be cool for you too, bro. So that's what I got from what you said in terms of how it's helped your business. But yeah. Aside from that, man, like I guess we'll finish off with this. Like what's the biggest piece of advice that you have for someone who was in your shoes, man? Because you have no idea how many people I talk to. It's like a chicken or the egg thing, or not a chicken or the egg thing. It's like a catch-22. Like they're busy as hell with work and they're grinding out there and they want to make the time for the fitness, but they know if they do that, they think that if they do that, then the business is going to fall apart or whatever limiting beliefs they have there. What's piece of advice that you would have for yourself maybe a year ago or somebody in your shoes a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say because like so much the misinformation that's out there is so much more than, the actual correct information. Um, what I would say is like, there's obviously a pathway to to get to any goal in life. You just have to find like the right people to work with if you're going to work with someone else, which I highly recommend. So the piece of advice I have is like do your due diligence. If you're not, if it's something you need support with, which for me, I need accountability because I am so busy. I need Dallas on to work with me because it really helps me keep stay structured with that part of my life.
Mhm.
Piece of advice I would say is just um, just because something doesn't work doesn't mean there's no like there's no real solution to it, right? Like there is like a way to get something done. Ultimately, you just got to find like the right solution. And for me, it really came down to finding the right person. It was timing as well, but when I found the right person and the right timing, I think that's why my results are so
Yo,
like drastic because those two things came together at the right time.
nah, bro. Nah, that's a fact. That's a good one, bro. Because like, again, you have no many, no idea how many people I talk to where it's like, not because they failed at something in the past, they feel like nothing works for them, and then it's
Yeah,
hard to like look at yourself and be like, yeah, I was just doing the wrong thing, or maybe they beat themselves up too hard and say I'm the problem, or they don't take ownership and they just blame whatever. But I think sometimes people are conditioned to expect failure. So it's like, yo, I did Jenny Craig, I did Slim
yeah,
Fast, I did Orange Theory, I did 75 Hard. I failed at all of them. Therefore, I'm a failure. Therefore, that just becomes the
yeah,
thought pattern and the cycle. So it's kind of hard to see past the bullshit when you're in it. So I think that's a huge point. Like, dude, it's not, take yourself out of it for a second. You're looking from a bird's eye view. It's not that you're the problem. It's just you were just doing the wrong shit. If you've got the work ethic, you're ready to put in work, and you're ready to like implement it at a high level and learn, dedicate a few hours a week to it, you can see progress pretty quickly. Like
mhm.
even in your case, I know it's something that like you hadn't paid attention to for a decent amount of years, and then it's like, oh, we were able to turn it around in less than a year. Like that's not so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Part of that too was because I was always trying to do it on my own too. So I never saw real like progress. Like, oh, I'm gonna just do my cardio, go for runs, not knowing like I was missing so many pieces to it that now I know.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it was that like being like sometimes get in your own way. I think that's what happens to a lot of people too. They get in their own way. Thinking that it has to be done a certain way, and that there is no real alternate way of doing something. So I think that was part of my reason too. I was in my own way, but also in the timing, right? But knowing like how much time it really took, if I had known that, I probably would have, and I known that this way would work. 100%, feel I would have done
Yeah,
it, a lot sooner. But I
yeah,
think part of that too, like getting in your own way, not really understanding like there is a different way of doing something, right? Like I'm sure there's probably another way of doing everything, right, in life, but there is simpler way for sure, and sometimes we get in our own way.
yeah, for sure. I agree with that too, and that's a big one too, because whatever thought patterns we have gotten us to where we are.
Yeah,
So it's like if you're struggling with this area of your life, well, the way you've been thinking is what got you there. So you have to do
yeah,
something different. You know what I mean? So no, that makes a lot of sense. Before I hop off, anything you want to add? I feel like I'm kind of just like asking mad questions.
yeah. No, man. I mean, I'm just one thing I do want to add is like I wanted to say I'm very appreciative of like the journey so far. Super happy. If like anyone else out there like really wants to like get to a different place in their life with their health, like 100%, like recommend Dallas.
Come on, man.
Uh, you know,
Talk to him.
no one else, man. I will recommend Dallas 100%. He just cares like
Appreciate
no
you.
one else does. Like it's truly does. Like it's amazing that he does care that much. And so like you guys got to get with Dallas, like and reach out to him and get the help. Like it's there, like and he's beyond like he gives you over and beyond the value that that the program is. So.
I appreciate
That's
you
all.
saying that, man. And if you
Honestly,
need,
that's how I want to leave the call.
all right, I didn't like that. And like I know I put a little call to action in the beginning, but if you need help with your credit repair, go contact Gil. Like I said, like he said, I think you can fill out a link in his bio. Get on with somebody in his team. He'll walk you through. Like you trying to buy a house, you saving up for something. You need to report a good credit score, man. He can get that done for you fairly quickly. I've seen some of the work he does, and he's not like all these other credit guys, man. I see so many credit gurus online, and you can tell they just bullshitters, man. So great. I've seen Gil's results, man. Like I see what he's doing. He's consistent with his content. Even if you just want to follow his page and learn more about the process
Yeah.
before you work with him, I think that's a good thing to do as well. So I'm gonna leave it on that note. So I appreciate you, bro, taking the time out, and yeah, we'll end this.
Likewise, bro. Anytime, man. Anytime. We'll do this more often if you like. You know.
Nah, we will.
Yeah.
I know we
All
talked
right.
about it, bro.
All right, bro.